Welcome to Complicated Stuff on the Girl Has It All channel. I'm Thomas, and I am so excited to be your guide today for our deep dive about the universe into a topic that will make you question everything you thought you knew.
And I'm Jenna, the resident quantum physics enthusiast here at Girl Has It All. We're both part of the team here that's dedicated to helping you unlock your full potential.
What?
But today we're putting on our physics hats.
Today we're putting on those physics hats.
And tackling something truly mind-bending.
To tackle something truly mind-bending.
Tachyons.
Tachyons. Even the name sounds like it belongs in a science fiction novel. But these theoretical particles are anything but fictional in the world of physics. So Jennifer, our listeners who might be hearing about tachyons for the very first time, could you break down what they actually are?
Yeah, so imagine a particle that can travel faster than the speed of light. That's the fundamental concept behind tachyons.
Okay.
And the name itself comes from the Greek word tachys, meaning swift, which is quite fitting.
Okay, so we're talking about particles that could potentially break the cosmic speed limit. That immediately raises a red flag, doesn't it?
Yeah.
After all, Einstein's theory of relativity tells us that nothing can travel faster than light.
And it's one of the biggest reasons why tachyons are so fascinating and controversial. Their very existence would challenge one of the most foundational theories in modern physics.
Yeah, it almost feels like we're venturing into the realm of impossible here.
Yeah.
So how do physicists even begin to conceptualize something like a tachyon, especially if it seemingly defies our current understanding of the universe?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Tachyons are thought to have what's called imaginary mass.
Okay.
It's not imaginary in the sense that it doesn't exist, but rather that it involves a mathematical concept called an imaginary number.
Okay, now you're really losing me. Imaginary mass. That sounds incredibly abstract.
Yeah.
Can you help our listeners wrap their heads around what that actually means?
Sure, think of it this way. In our everyday world, we experience mass as something that resists acceleration. The more massive an object is, the more force it takes to get it moving. But with tachyons, the idea is that their mass works in reverse.
Okay.
The faster they move, the less imaginary mass they have.
So instead of slowing down as they gain energy, tachyons actually speed up. That's pretty counterintuitive.
Exactly. And it's one of the key reasons why tachyons could theoretically travel faster than light.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be limited by the same rules that govern the particles we're familiar with.
I see, but this imaginary mass concept also makes detecting tachyons incredibly difficult, right?
Yes.
I mean, how do you even measure something that doesn't behave like anything we've ever encountered before?
You're absolutely right. It's a major challenge. Traditional particle detectors rely on measuring the energy and momentum of particles as they interact with matter.
Okay.
But because tachyons are thought to have this unique property of imaginary mass, they might not interact with our detectors in the same way.
So we have these hypothetical particles that could potentially rewrite our understanding of physics.
Right.
But they're virtually impossible to detect with our current technology.
Yeah.
That's quite a paradox. It makes you wonder why scientists are even bothering to search for them.
Well, think about the implications if we did find them.
Yeah.
It would be one of the most groundbreaking discoveries in human history. It would mean that our understanding of the universe is incomplete, that there are entirely new realms of physics waiting to be explored.
I can definitely see why that would make scientists excited. But if we're being honest, the idea of particles traveling faster than light sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
Nah, it does.
Yeah.
And for a long time, tachyons were dismissed as purely theoretical, but there's a growing body of research that suggests they might not be as far-fetched as we once thought.
Really? What kind of research? What are scientists actually looking for when they try to detect tachyons?
Well, one approach is to look for indirect evidence of their existence. Remember how we talked about tachyons potentially disrupting cause and effect?
Right.
Some physicists believe that we might be able to detect their presence by looking for anomalies in the way events unfold in the universe.
Anomalies? So are we talking about events that seem to happen out of order, like something affecting something else before it even occurs?
Exactly. Imagine seeing the effect of an event before the cause itself. That would be a pretty strong indicator that something strange is going on, something that might involve tachyons.
Okay, that makes sense. But wouldn't that also mean that tachyons could potentially allow for time travel? I mean, if they can affect the past, could they also carry information back in time?
That's one of the most mind-boggling implications of tachyons.
Yeah.
If they do exist, it's possible that they could be used to send signals or even matter back in time.
Well, okay, now my head is really spinning. So we're talking about potential time paradoxes,
Yeah.
violations of causality, and a complete upheaval of our understanding of the universe as we know it.
Potentially, yes. It's all very theoretical, of course, but that's what makes the study of tachyons so exciting. We're right at the edge of what we know, peering into the unknown and grappling with concepts that challenge our most fundamental assumptions about reality.
I can definitely see why this topic would capture the imagination of physicists and science enthusiasts alike. But even if we set aside the mind-blowing implications for time travel, the very existence of tachyons would still have a profound impact on physics, right?
Oh, absolutely. It would force us to rethink many of our established physical laws, and it would open up entirely new avenues of research. For example, there's this concept called a causal map, which essentially lays out the order of cause and effect in the universe.
Okay.
Think of it as a map that shows how events are connected to each other in time.
So every cause leads to an effect,
Right.
which in turn can become the cause of another effect, and so on.
Precisely.
Like a chain reaction of events through time.
And this causal map has been a cornerstone of our understanding of physics. But tachyons, with their ability to potentially travel faster than light, could disrupt this map entirely.
So, what kind of disruptions are we talking about?
Well, imagine a scenario where a tachyon travels back in time and interacts with an event in the past. That interaction could potentially change the outcome of that event, which in turn could alter the entire chain of cause and effect that follows.
Okay, now my head is really starting to hurt.
Yeah.
So are we saying that tachyons could create paradoxes? Like the classic grandfather paradox?
Exactly. The grandfather paradox is a great example of how tachyons could mess with causality. It asks, what if you could travel back in time and accidentally kill your own grandfather before your father was even born? Would you cease to exist? And if so, how could you have traveled back in time in the first place?
Wow, that's a mind-boggling thought experiment. It really highlights the potential for tachyons to create logical inconsistencies in the fabric of time itself.
It does. And it's one of the reasons why some physicists argue that tachyons can't exist. They believe that the universe must have some kind of mechanism in place to prevent these kinds of paradoxes from occurring.
So are there any theories about how such a mechanism might work? How could the universe potentially protect itself from the paradoxes that tachyons might create?
There are a few ideas out there. One possibility is that the universe might have some sort of chronology protection mechanism that prevents closed time-like curves, which are paths through space-time that could allow for time travel from forming.
So it's like the universe has built-in safeguards
Right.
to prevent time travel paradoxes. That's kind of reassuring in a strange way.
It is. But even if tachyons don't allow for time travel in the way we typically imagine it, their existence would still have profound implications for our understanding of the universe.
Absolutely. And it's clear that the search for tachyons is pushing the boundaries of science, forcing us to confront some of the most fundamental questions about the nature of reality itself.
It is. And regardless of whether we ever actually detect tachyons, the pursuit of this knowledge is invaluable. It's expanding our horizons, challenging our assumptions, and inspiring us to explore the unknown with curiosity and open minds.
Well said, Jenna. I think this deep dive has given our listeners a lot to ponder. We've explored the mind-bending concept of tachyons, these hypothetical particles that can travel faster than light and potentially upend our understanding of the universe.
We've delved into the challenges of detecting tachyons, the implications their existence would have on causality and time travel, and the importance of continuing to explore the unknown even when it seems impossible.
And for those of you who are intrigued by tachyons and want to learn more, we encourage you to do some research on your own. There's a wealth of information out there, from scientific articles to popular science books that delve deeper into this fascinating subject.
And of course, if you're interested in exploring other areas of personal and professional growth, be sure to check out the Girl Has It All website and connect with our amazing community. We offer a variety of programs and resources designed to help you unlock your full potential and live a more fulfilling life.
Exactly. But for now, we're going to wrap up this deep dive into the world of tachyons. Jenna, it's been an absolute pleasure exploring this topic with you.
The pleasure was all mine, Thomas. And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey into the realm of the extraordinary.
We'll see you next time on Complicated Stuff.
Goodbye, everyone.
And don't forget, Complicated Stuff airs live
Every Friday and Saturday.
every Friday and Saturday.
That's right.
So be sure to,
We premiere on YouTube at 6:30 p.m.
6:30 p.m.
Yeah.
6:40 p.m.
Yeah.
So be sure to join us for those live conversations. We love hearing your thoughts and questions
Absolutely.
in the chat.
We're all about creating a community of curious minds here at Girl Has It All.
So until next time, keep those minds minds curious and those spirits adventurous.
Goodbye, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of tachyons.